A father vows to get his son a Turbo Man action figure for Christmas. However, every store is sold out and he must travel all over town and compete with everybody else in order to find one. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Christmas movie, Jingle All the Way, is up next on Inside Movies. Hey guys, welcome to Inside Movies. My name is George Michail. I'm a comic book writer, and today we're talking about Jingle All the Way. I'm joined by writer-illustrator GMB Chomichuk, novelist Andrew Buckley, and the editor-in-chief of Merc Publishing, Murphey. Thanks everyone for being on the show. Let's get into it. What's the good? What do we like about Jingle All the Way?
Anakin Skywalker! I was so pumped when he showed up on screen. The first time he shows up, it's just like a moment. And I was like, is that Anakin Skywalker? And he comes back, and it is. And I didn't know he had done anything else. I know that he had a really hard time with like bullying after Star Wars, and he completely quit acting. And so I was really pleased to see that he has another movie under his belt, and I think he's so cute. I love him.
Sometimes watching a movie like this connects you with the real struggle of human beings. And there's no movie like a movie about how you can buy your child's love or how consumerism is worth fighting for, to really bring out the Christmas spirit in a person.
You know, after our disagreement on Love Actually, I'd be inclined to just disagree for the sake of disagreeing with you, but I hate this movie so much that I'm going to agree with any veiled negativity that you have. Oh yeah, this is good. Okay, good. Hang on.
Oh, it's good. This is what's good, Andrew. It's brought us together after our...
It's true. This is the positive.
One good thing about this movie is it's brought Andrew and I back together again.
Yeah, we are reunited once more. My bad is real long, but my good, Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman's great. That's pretty much it.
I got a few good things. All right, so I think Arnold Schwarzenegger might be my favorite all-time actor. I know that might be controversial, but I just love his movies, and this is not one of his best, but he's just so like charismatic and charming and intense. And when he says, the only time I laughed in this movie, like really laughed, is when he was like, "Put that cookie down now," on the telephone. I just like thought that was so stupid, and I loved it.
When he got into the suit, the Turbo Man suit, to go into the parade, So I loved this movie as a kid. This was one of my Christmas movies that I watched every single year, and I always really, really loved that part. And then now as an adult, I'm like, damn, he looks great in that suit. Like that, I just thought that was like a perfect way to pigeonhole in, like, we got to get his physique in here somehow.
The only part that I laughed at, and quite literally the only part that I laughed at through this entire movie, which had an unnecessarily long runtime, was the Santa fight, when the one large Santa punches Vern Troyer from Austin Powers. He's like, "I'm gonna deck your halls, bub," and then he punches him like 30 feet. I think I just laugh at I think this happened with Everything Everywhere All at Once, where you hit somebody small and they fly far. I think it's hilarious, but that's which says more about me than it does, I suppose. But I found that funny. That made me laugh.
I like the Santa fight too, right? Because it's got like Jim Belushi and all the fake Santa Man like shaking down parents for like hard to find toys, and it leads to Arnold fighting like an army of Santas and elves. And the Big Show, Paul White, he's like a WWE champion. He's in there, and so that was cool. And he fights Arnold Schwarzenegger. I like that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, charisma is on display. I don't know what the backstory of filming this movie is at all. Probably Andrew knows something, but it seemed like he was having a really good time. And sometimes when action stars as physical as Schwarzenegger is take over a role that's supposed to be funny, they're kind of reaching, but he's got some, he kind of works. I don't like this movie at all, but Arnold's doing a really good job.
You know what else can be fun? Super Pulp Science, GMB Chomichuk's podcast. Great, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I have a podcast called Super Pulp Science where we talk about how a genre gets made. So basically, if you disagree with most of my opinions on this show, you can come and listen to me give you more opinions about writing and making comics. And you should join the fight and make comics. Listen to Super Pulp Science.
And there's a link to Super Pulp Science in the description of this video. So click that link and go and check out some more GMB Chomichuk. Why not? Let's get into the bad. What do we not like about Jingle All the Way?
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Why not? I'm going to use that as a clip to promote the show.
Listen to this. Why not?
GMB Chomichuk. Why not?
Is your life boring? Do you have nothing else to do? Why not listen to this podcast?
Oh my god, why not? Are we talking about the bad?
Yes, we're on the bad, finally.
Stunt casting is always bad. I mean, I feel like there was a script, and then they're like, oh, let's put Arnold in it. Oh, let's put Sinbad in it. And, I mean, his name, one syllable in his name, you know, basically rhymes with how this movie does. Bad.
What doesn't rhyme with it? It is it.
It is it.
Arnold is not a comedic actor. He's not. His line delivery is so cringy and horrible. Jake Lloyd does it better than he does in this movie. It was so hard to watch him try and be funny, and every funny line delivery, I'm like, and you can't put an Arnold Schwarzenegger up against a James Belushi or a Phil Hartman and expect those to jive properly. It doesn't work at all.
It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger's fault. It's the script. It's
not.
No, like Kindergarten Cop is a solid comedy. Twins, like he's capable of doing like anything. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's not the reason this movie stinks.
I would say this one is my fault. This was my pick. I loved this movie as a kid. Oh wow, it does not hold up. I will probably never watch it again. It is, it's got a bad message. It's the whole Sinbad character just was completely unbelievable, and it's not good.
Okay, two things to add on to what you say, Murphy. One, did Sinbad agree to be in this so he could like monologue or something? Like he had 2 ridiculously long monologues in this movie. It was insane. Also, he almost kills a child. And then goes to prison, but still gets the toy that he's after this whole time. Like he almost killed a child at the end. Like he almost killed him. That happened at the end of the movie. But this movie, it doesn't age. It hasn't aged well. Like this was obviously a stab at trying to create a recurring Christmas movie because we know that Christmas movies pay wonderful dividends over time. This one totally failed. Kids don't give a crap about toys the same way they did when we were growing up. It doesn't exist. There's too much digital content and entertainment out there. They don't know what TV commercials are. It doesn't fit anymore. That world doesn't exist. So parts of this movie are quite literally foreign to today's children.
So I did not find this movie really funny at all, and that's a big problem for a comedy. The scenes with Sinbad threatening people with a bomb and pepper sprays Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's just being way too violent for a family Christmas movie.
That's what I wanted. I wanted this movie. One of the things that I think is not good about it, that I didn't know what it was. They should have made this movie an R-rated, Commando level violence movie about Arnold Schwarzenegger getting that toy. And then
I would watch that. Actually, we should make that, guys.
Then that movie would weather the storms of all of those things you're talking about, Andrew. But because instead it was just about how you should buy your kids love, and as long as you can get the toy they want, they will see you as an important figure in their life. Not the best message.
Yeah.
Well, and then you've got the neighbor too that's just being a skis ball the entire time, and his wife she acts like she doesn't know what his intentions are, and then when he finally tries at the end, she slaps him, and it's God, you fucking knew this. You have been spending all this time with him, you're using him as a crutch, and then you're gonna punish him when he accepts and tries to make a move based off of signals that you have been giving him. Fuck you. I feel strongly about that part. I didn't realize how strongly I felt about it until just now.
Let it out, Murphy. You're here among your friends.
Release the demon.
It's just ridiculous. That sort of thing. It is completely impossible that she did not know what his intentions were, and he's trying so hard. Arnold's trying so hard to do what he promised. And when it comes down to it, I don't think it's necessarily about I need to get this toy for him because that'll make him love me. It's I need to get this toy because I made that promise. And, you know, it's maybe not that big of a difference, but that's definitely how I saw it.
But he's trying so hard because he's been such a complete shit of a dad for a husband for however long. Like, this is him making it up is simply to, I mean, to Greg's point, to buy love. I mean, that's literally what he's. Also, Sinbad almost kills a child.
That's actually what he's doing.
That's literally what he's doing.
Buy love, actually. In our previous video about Love Actually, to understand the context of that joke.
So for me, like, this movie was like terrible, and then it got like even worse once Arnold Schwarzenegger became Turbo Man and started flying around. Like, come on, like it's one thing that's
imagine George if it had been R-rated right then.
It would have been better, maybe.
Those blasters that really blasted people, just showering the mall with gore.
One thing I actually did like, and I didn't mention, was there's like his dog man like sidekick for Turbo Man, and like no kid wants it or gives a shit out about it, and I just thought that was funny.
My bad list capped off because I got angrier and angrier watching this and writing the notes. My last line was such bullshit cheesy crap, and that's the last thing I wrote on my bad list.
All right, let's get into the skinny. Let's give our final grades for Jingle All the Way. I'll go first. I'm giving this one a C- because it's a comedy that's not very funny. It's just not my type of Christmas movie because it's all about consumerism and not really about, like, you know, the spirit of family. Actually. Yes. But the reason why it's not getting like a D or an F is because my kid did like it when we watched it together. So, you know, C-.
I will give this movie 5 out of 5 empty promises.
What am I supposed to illustrate an
I can't wait till you have to do that.
Complete empty promise is what I'm saying.
Come on, dude.
It's gonna be so good. I give this one dwarf dressed like Santa being punched so hard by a bigger Santa that he flies back 30 feet out of 5.
I'm going to give this 50 out of 100 Turbo Man toys bought at the correct time before they were sold out.
All right, that's going to do it for another episode of Inside Movies. I've been George Michail, joined by GMB Chomichuk, Andrew Buckley, and Murphey. Go and check out GMB Chomichuk's excellent podcast, Super Pulp Science. Why not? And until next time, peace.
Why not?